Before the mirror, ladies and gentlemen, is Gladys Wanga. Gladys Wanga is currently the governor of Homa Bay County and also have served in that particular county as the woman rep for a period of 2 terms. Now she's serving in her first term as the governor of the county, having been defeated in the party primaries by Honorable Mbadi, but in an arrangement of the ODM party as it is, Mbadi conceded that particular position to Wanga. Now Wanga is the rather not so legitimate governor of Homa Bay County, but is legitimate because when she went on the ballot against every other individual that were not the ODM party members, she was announced as the governor of that particular county. Of course, until now, silent voices still feel like Kidero might have won, but the person that has been recognized as the governor through the IEBC officially is of course Gladys Wanga. So we put Gladys Wanga before the mirror because not only how she came into politics, but because of the utterances that she has previously made and how the people are now viewing her after those utterances moving forward. Other than being the chairperson or the county governor of Homa Bay County, she's also the chairperson of the ODM party right now that Raila Odinga has left in a very drastic condition. And in the position that she leads or she chairs as the party chairperson, there are silent voices within the party that actually do not recognize her position as such. Among these silent voices is of course the member of parliament for Saboti constituency, Honorable Kalibamisi, and Sifuna has also hinted quite a few times not to be agreeing with the statements of Wanga individually and not statements of Wanga as a member of the NEC of ODM or the chairperson. Of course, Babu Owino also have been quoted to be saying that they are really not comfortable with the leadership of Wanga. Now, the leadership of Wanga has been left for the people to determine, irrespective of whether these particular members of parliament and members of the ODM party agree with that or not. The public has had a chance to see how Wanga leads and to determine whether or not she's fit to lead not only as the county governor but the chairperson of the party, and with the talks of the vice president and deputy president whether or not she is fit for that position come 2027. So here at the People's Mirror, we put Honorable Gladys Wanga before the mirror to see the image or the reflection that we are getting when her object is put before the mirror. You see, the first thing that has had the public actually really trying to look at Wanga differently after Baba's death is the first statements that Wanga made after Baba's death. And these statements they were making as a joint committee that was addressing statements that had been made by Governor Kahiga Mutai that were rather not so kind to the mourners of Raila Odinga then. And Wanga, instead of coming from a very wise position of analyzing the interest of the family that is mourning and analyzing the interest of the country at large and keeping, a solemn, peaceful stature while addressing the statements of Mutai Kahiga, went berserk. Now, Wanga, after going berserk, actually said that Gachagua is not their friend and every friend of Gachagua is not their friend, and went ahead to block Gachagua from accessing Kanguka Jaramogi's grave to see Raila because they want Gachagua not to step there because Gachagua was not their friend. This statement was found to be rather stupid in the Kenyan political scene by a lot of people because then it showed a leader talking from a point of emotions and not really assessing the weight of a statement from a national spectrum or even international spectrum over the graveyard of Raila Odinga that she has no direct connections of family to. So after that, Raila Odinga Jr. had to correct the statements that had been made by the governor and went ahead and said that, irrespective of what the governor said, we have opened this grave to anyone and everyone who comes will be welcomed, whether from Kenya or abroad. The grave at Nyamira Kanguka Jaramogi is open to everyone. Yesterday when Kalonzo also attended that particular place to mourn with the family of Raila Odinga, Mama Ida said it's the fly that likes you that makes a stop on your body. And what she was meaning with that particular Luo phrase or proverb was that they have opened that particular space for anyone who loves Raila to go and mourn with Raila, because for you to come to someone's burial, of course you have some reverence for them. So at that first spot, when a young person in the hierarchy of politics like Raila Jr. was stepping up beyond the head of a governor and setting everything back to order, the Kenyan people saw the bareness of the leadership of Gladys Wanga as one that is very wreckage. and they were like wondering why was this woman making these very silly statements in the first place. But that did not even take 2 weeks. Later on, Wanga was again quoted saying that if you are a member of parliament and you're not in good terms with her, or if the people elect a member of parliament that is not in good terms with the governor or the president, then they should embrace themselves to suffer, because no developments will come their way and they will be termed as the people in the opposition. Now, this was another very stupid statement coming from the now could be said a governor that makes stupid statements. I don't know how you call someone who makes stupid statements without calling them stupid, but that other stupid statement also came from Wanga, and Kenyans have been asking themselves, how does she speak? How does she think before she speaks? Because really, members of parliament have a very different mandate from the positions of governors in this hierarchy of power, and even from the executive itself. The governors, they run devolution. The president sits in the executive. Members of parliament legislate and oversight. So at what point do you require members of parliament to be in good terms with the governor or with the president for development to occur? If anything, members of parliament should not be in good terms with presidents and governors to ensure that oversight happens and they legislate independent rules that are not influenced by county governors and presidents. So Wanga, who I don't know how she thinks, went on to tell or lecture the people that she was addressing that if they decide to elect someone that is not in good terms with the governor or the president, then they should embrace themselves for non-development. That was another spot that put Wanga's statements in bare openness, and Kenyans people found folly in her way of leadership. Now, while people were mourning Raila Odinga in the stadium in Homa Bay, Raila Odinga Stadium, which is actually in Wanga's backyard, other leaders like Fatuma are now coming up to actually defend Wanga, and they are saying that when you're talking about Wanga, then the husband will pass with you, or if you're talking about Wanga, they were saying Fatuma was actually quoted saying some very, very bad statements to a particular individual that has been attacking Wanga. And so she played the gender card that why are you attacking a woman who has an husband? That's the normal gender card that women in politics play. And then after that, she played the card of the husband will come and take away your life, which was a political statement but could be taken out of context. And she said that if that doesn't happen, then herself and Junet will take care of anyone that is attacking Wanga. So you could see that the ODM small members, I don't know, whatever they call themselves, are coming together to defend the statements of Wanga, and they're not listening to the public on why Wanga is actually being bashed. Now, Wanga, who did not win the ODM party primaries but ended up being given the ticket because of the arrangement of the party between themselves and Mbadi, currently sits as the governor. And perhaps the power influence that Raila gave her when Raila was in power has kind of gotten over her head, and she has uttered some very not governor-like statements, and now people are really wondering why Raila kept her in the governor position in the first place. Others saying that of course Evans Kidero would have not made such statements, and others even wondering why Raila had to keep her up to the position of a party chairperson. Now, Honorable Fatuma has told us that if you are attacking Wanga, then it seems like you are attacking Raila in depth, and this is just the reaction from the People's Mirror that perhaps the reflection that we have seen of the object is Wanga might really be the basis for attacking Wanga. And moving forward, after people have mourned Baba for quite some time, all these other people that Baba put into power but are showing us signs that they are really not fit to maintain those particular powers might have a very rough time with the public moving forward in their political careers. So that is the analysis of the People's Mirror today on the statements that Wanga has made that project the object that is Wanga to be very, very different from the reflection that we are getting from the mirror.